Hey warriors, and welcome to the latest episode of the Sickening podcast. Today's guest is Maria, who's a newly diagnosed MS warrior with relapsing remitting MS. She is a sustainable fashion lover and fashionista who was born in Birmingham and now resides in London, and is about to share her personal story about being diagnosed within a pandemic with you. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and I will speak to you soon. Hey Maria, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you for being here today on the Sickening podcast to share your story. I really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. To start, I like to let our fellow warriors know a little bit about the person I'm interviewing and what kind of MS they have. So could you let us know a little bit about you?
Yep, I'm Maria. I'm a Greek Cypriot Brummie living in London, and I have relapsing remitting RMMS, and I've been diagnosed since March the 1st this year. I remember because it was my best friend's birthday, and I love sustainable fashion, vintage fashion, and I even try and make my own stuff. But yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're a new warrior, first and foremost, that got a diagnosis in a pandemic.
Yep.
How was
all
that?
of my relapses were, it began end of November last year. So every hospital appointment was during the pandemic. And it was definitely added to the struggle and stress, being so separated from family, with all my family in Birmingham during it, my father in Cyprus. So it definitely added to the strain of it all anyway. Yeah.
No, I can imagine. It's hard enough going to the hospital, and then when you're going through something like that and you're by yourself a lot of the time because you can't bring anyone to hospital settings now, that's intense. That's definitely intense. What made you go to the hospital first? Like, what was the first thing you presented that made you go, I should go and get this checked out?
So I woke up and I had double vision. And initially, I just thought it was because I hadn't been wearing my glasses. I thought I'd messed up my eyes. And I was like, oh no, I need new glasses. That was my biggest worry. But as the day carried on, it didn't get any better. And I remember I went for a walk, and my balance, my walking was really off, as well as the vision. People were looking at me like I was drunk, and I was like, something's not right. So I went to A&E and ended up staying, had an MRI, a lumbar puncture, and it was my third day in hospital where it was, first suggested to me that there's a, very small possibility that it's MS. So it was very early on that it was suggested to me.
Okay. That's it's a better story than most people have a little bit longer than a few days, so that's nice to hear that. As time's gone on, they're getting way better at spotting possible MS diagnosis.
No, definitely.
That lung punch is horrible,
Oh, that is the worst thing. I honestly, though, after having that lumbar puncture, my pain tolerance is through I can handle anything now. I got a tattoo and I was like, this is nothing. I've had a giant needle in my back. I'll be fine. So, silver linings.
Totally. I'm covered in tattoos and people go, how do you do that? But you hate blood tests and lumbar punches. I'm like, they are not the same thing. They are not the same thing.
No, not at all. Yeah. But so I do. You want to carry on? Sorry.
No, go for it.
No, I was I've said before, just from speaking to other people about their, symptoms and relapses compared to how long it took for a diagnosis, I definitely acknowledge how lucky I am, even though it didn't feel like it at the time, but it was because I had the first relapse, and then I had 2 more pretty much straight after. Because they were all so close together, you know, with every kind of MS relapse symptom in the book I had. While that was horrible, it was kind of a blessing to get me that diagnosis and get me that treatment. And the recognition of symptoms has improved so much from what I can tell from speaking to other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Did they treat you straight away? Are you actually on an MS treatment or not yet?
So it was with my first few relapses, I was just on steroids and the IV steroids. But it was when I got diagnosed, it was 2 weeks later, I started on Tysabri. I have had to stop that though, sadly, last month due to, the risk of PML. And I should hopefully be starting Ocrevus in a few weeks. But yeah, I did start treatment pretty soon, which I was very, very grateful for.
No, I believe that good, quick, I don't say aggressive, that's not the right word, but like good treatment's great. Like you, I started on Tysabri. Not straight away though, I had like the worst MS story, but that's a whole nother episode. And I had Tysabri for a few months, but it didn't agree with me, and I was JC virus positive, MS mouth. And like you, I stopped it because PML, and that's not a fun thing to play with.
The worry of that was just because they told me, because I think I'd been on Tysabri for about a month, and I was like, brilliant, things are finally looking up. And then they told me that I was like 3.7 positive for the JC virus, and I know that that's insanely high. But yeah, I knew that I couldn't stay on it and not have the constant worry. It's the kind of mental anguish of that is just horrible. And there's so many other good ones. So I'm trying to stay positive about this new treatment.
There was loads. There's a new one coming. It's been okay, but it's not really out there to take. Only a few warriors can take it, which is Kemsymta, which is an injection in the leg.
They recommend that.
I think is it every week for a few weeks and then once a month? Don't quote me on it. But that's meant to be really good. But obviously Ocrevus seems to be the one that we all go towards. I'm going to restart it actually on the 27th of October. Yeah. Because I stopped it through the whole pandemic because I was a little bit petrified, to be fair, and you got isolated for a little bit after. So, you know.
How are you feeling about it?
I'm still nervous. In all honesty, I am. Like, I know I need to do it because I'm literally in the relapse right now, and my left side's fully numb. I've got foot drop. As you can tell, certain words don't come out of my mouth properly anymore. Then you've got the mental anguish of MS. Like sometimes when you feel like crap, your mental health starts getting played with, and I need something to make me feel more, at least the best of me that I can be. I don't want to say more like me because this is me and this is my reality, but like I want to feel the best version of myself that I possibly can, and I'm going to try Ocrevus again and see if it works. For a bit.
No, definitely. I relate to that because my second relapse was one where my whole right side was numb. I kept saying the wrong words. I honestly had every symptom in the book. I had vertigo, drop foot, incontinence, and people don't like to talk about that, but I'm very loud and proud about my incontinence. The double vision as well. I wasn't able to walk for a few months. And the fact that treatment can just make you feel a bit more, able to live. No, it's definitely a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah, we are very lucky as well. I think I'm guessing you're quite young.
I'm 23.
Right, so you're 10 years younger than I am, right? And when I was 23, there was none of that treatment like really available to me. So it makes me really happy that there's that treatment that you can take that's going to help from the very start. And like you said, your diagnosis in general was a lot quicker, and then ultimately you're getting good treatments that are tried and tested to use straight away is so good, because
Yeah.
we want to keep all our abilities as much as possible, and they're meant to be really good drugs, and everyone that takes them right now is living a better quality life for it. So that's magic.
Yeah. No, and it does really brighten my heart how just 10, 15 years ago, the difference. And, I know of people that have suffered just because they missed out on this treatment and things got left to get worse. And I'm just so grateful with how much the treatment's getting better. And when I first, when they first mentioned MS to me, I didn't know about this treatment. I just knew about the worst things that can happen. And the fact that there has been so much improvement really is a blessing that I think more people need to know about, MS or not. Because when I first spoke to people, they said to me like, oh, you're going to be in a wheelchair then? And things like that. And there's so much kind of ambiguity about what MS actually is. And that's something that really surprised me when I got diagnosed. So many people, kind of what I got a lot was when I first started treatment, people said, oh, you're getting better now. It's all fine now. And you don't want to be the downer and the burden and be like, well, I know I still have MS, but there's just so many things people really don't know about such a common disability. It's really shocked me as this has all happened.
That's why I've decided to do what I do, because I do feel like you said, like, a lot of people don't know about it. Most people feel like MS wheelchair. And yes, although some people do end up like that and they end up paralyzed, and it's really sad, and it's not what any of us want, it doesn't have to be the reality of MS. There's so many things nowadays that you can do, that we all try and do: better exercise, better diet, better mental health, good affirmations, quick treatment and diagnosis is always good. Good community, especially.
Yeah.
There was no social media back then. So I've been ill since age 18, but only with MS. I think it was 8 years later that I got actual diagnosed with MS, but there was no real social media community. So for you, there's this community. And I want to ask you, how did you find the MS community, and what made you go straight to social media to kind of connect? Because some people can, and some people are really emotional after a diagnosis, and that they go the opposite way.
So I definitely, early on, especially during my relapses, I didn't even think about looking for people. It was I very much isolated myself. But kind of as I got out of that and started, living a bit more, I was like, I want to speak to people and hear from people that truly understand, because so many people have been so lovely to me through all of this, but the difference between someone that gets it and someone doesn't is insane. And I would say probably one of the nicest parts of the community that I've been able to experience in person was going to hospital and getting my treatment. And I spoke to so many people that, different ranges of, progression and how long they've been diagnosed for. And it was so lovely, getting advice and being able to chat to everyone. And I met a woman, one of the last times I was getting Tysobry, called Marlo. And she's in the fashion industry. We ended up talking about fashion, and I obviously spoke about how newly diagnosed I am, and all the kind of things that have been going through me, my mental health issues. And she actually had written a book, and she said she posted me the book, and said, I really think this will help you for someone newly diagnosed. And just that connection to someone was one of the most, I can't thank her enough, like how much that meant to me. And I would recommend it to anyone that's newly diagnosed. It's called Awkward Bitch, which I love. And it's what helps with me is because it's written from the point of view of someone newly diagnosed. It's all those horrible internal thoughts that are going through your head at the beginning, the worry of am I always going to be like this, what does my future mean? It really helped with that. And just speaking to Marlo and so many other people while getting treatment was really, really heartwarming. It's one of the reasons I'm going to miss Tysobury. I quite liked going to hospital every month just to chat to these people. But the kind of community feeling is such an amazing thing, and that's why I want to speak in the community more as well. I want to speak to other people that are newly diagnosed, because I know how obviously scary that is.
There's some amazing places that you can join to volunteer or become a buddy. You can go to Shift.MS, and they have a buddy system where they sign people up with buddies, and it's definitely worthwhile just to have, like you said, someone that understands, someone that you can connect with on a whole other level, because like you said, there's a lot of people that love us and they care about us, and we've got best friends and family members that want the best for us, but I find that even they forget that you have MS sometimes. So
no, definitely.
They just don't understand it. You're like, I'm tired, and they're like, yes, so am I. And you're like,
you took the words out of my mouth. Or when there'll be times when I'm like, oh, my brain's not working properly, and then someone would be like, oh, I know, I made this silly mistake, and I'm like, no, my brain's really not working right.
If you could see inside my head and see the lesions on my brain, we've got different brains, babe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
What's the funniest thing someone said to you since you got diagnosed with MS?
Oh, I can't actually think. I actually really can't think of anything funny, to be honest.
My favourite one's always, get better soon. It's always nice. Get well soon. You look beautiful. Like that kind of thing. You look amazing. Are you sure you're sick? You're like,
definitely sure? Oh, you look a lot better though when I tell someone I'm feeling bad, and I'm like, that's because I'm trying very hard right now. that means nothing, but definitely but you look okay, and it's like, it's called invisible for a reason. But
it's all that fashion, isn't it? It's like when you can do fashion, it's the core of your soul. You can put things together in such a way that people just don't see it. Like they go, but you painted your face today, you've done your eyebrows, and you go, do you know how much energy it took to make myself feel good about myself this morning?
With my eyebrows, while I was bed bound, and being Greek, obviously it takes me a month, and I've got a full monobrow and moustache. To be honest, people noticed when I finally did my eyebrows. It took months of time.
I'm the same. I get like a full like bushy brow and a good top lip hair, but I'm proud of it. It's fine. We still look fabulous.
Exactly. Yeah. If you can rock it, you can rock it. It's confidence.
Have you found that your style's changed at all since you've been diagnosed with MS? Like, have your outfits changed?
I would say I definitely
Have you found that your style's changed at all since you've been diagnosed with MS? Like, have your outfits changed?
I would say I've got a lot braver with my fashion, because I think I've always been brave. I've always wanted to experiment, but I would definitely kind of stay in my little boxes of what I know looks good and what. But since I realised that life is so short, and tomorrow is really not guaranteed, you should wear whatever you want to wear. And
Yeah.
the worry of overdressing, that doesn't exist to me anymore. Like, the fact that I'm out walking, I should be grateful, I should be celebrating. So I'm going to dress super, super fancy. And that's
Yeah.
not overdressing at all. Yeah, I would definitely say so. Yeah.
I think we're never overdressed. I think everyone else is underdressed, personally.
Oh, completely. Completely.
That's how I live life. They're like, come smart casual. I'm like, come in full garb. Like, this is my smart casual. They're like, you're overdoing it. I'm like, you're underdoing it. It's fine.
Yeah, this is my casual, okay?
That's why I love a good sexy mobility aid, something that's like really out there, really in your face, kind of cute.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like we don't have to be boring because we're like got a disability or an illness at all.
And it was actually with them, because that was something I remember when I first went out with my walking stick, and I put on my fanciest coat, I put on a lovely hat. I was like, I want to look good. And I was like, I'm missing something on the walking stick. So I put a little Harry Styles sticker on there for motivation to add to, everything will be all right, because I've got, this on my walking aid.
I love that.
No, they shouldn't be boring.
No, I really like that you've made it like your own. You can look at it and be like, I'm going to keep going, and you get that like little thing, because we need those little anchors in our life that keep us going, because it is hard. Like, it generally, we laugh, we're talking now and we're having a great time, but there's so much goes on behind all of this, where like there's days where you just want to sit in the bed and cry, and no one gets to see that, especially through social media. They see our best moments, and we need
definitely. Yeah. And I because I have got MS Who tattooed on me, and that's something that's helped me so much, because that came from whenever I do something that I'm struggling with, or I didn't think I'd be able to do, like when I started sewing again, when my hand woke up and I was able to do that, or even, running up the stairs on the tube. I always say to myself, MS Who? And it's become a little like mantra to me. And I've got it on my feet. So with every step, I'm like, MS Who? Because, MS doesn't have me. MS doesn't control me. And it's not going to stop me. So I definitely think those little signs and word affirmations are so important.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I love that you've got MS Who. Like, that's just like the best. That's probably one of the better hashtags I've had MS related for a long while. So well done.
Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to see where your journey goes in the next year or so, because I will be definitely like looking.
Me too, honestly. You've helped me so much in ways you don't know.
Oh, thank you. I do appreciate it. Like, I think the community is a beautiful place. I do think everyone's pretty amazing, and I feel like everyone's really happy to help each other, which is so nice. I didn't really have this before MS. It's weird. It's like I had friends and I had connections. I did fashion and all these things happened, but since then, I feel like my whole life has changed, but weirdly for the better.
No, and completely. Like, the way I've tried to describe it to people, and not to sound too morbid, but it's not entirely sad, but it's, since this diagnosis, I really feel like, a death and resurrection has happened, where I'm still me, but I'm a bit different. And I still love the things I love, but everything's just a little bit different about me. And it's not always bad. People leave your life, people come into your life who suit the new you. And it definitely has changed my complete kind of, not personality, but kind of life aspirations, and the way I look at life is very different. It's really that kind of, well, I would say at the beginning, when it first all started, and
I feel like everyone's really happy to help each other, which is so nice.
Mm-hmm,
I didn't really have this before MS. It's weird. It's like I had friends and I had connections. I did fashion and all these things happened. But since then, I feel like my whole life has changed, but weirdly for the better.
No, and completely. Like the way I've tried to describe it to people, and not to sound too morbid, but it's not entirely sad, but since this diagnosis, I really feel like, a death and resurrection has happened, where I'm still me, but I'm a bit different. And I still love the things I love, but everything's just a little bit different about me. And it's not always bad. People leave your life, people come into your life who suit the new you. And it definitely has changed my complete kind of, not personality, but kind of life aspirations, and the way I look at life is very different. It's really that kind of, well, I would say at the beginning, when it first all started, and I think a lot of people that are newly diagnosed will naturally think like this, and they'll think, oh, how am I going to be in 5 years' time? How am I going to be in 10 years' time? What does the future hold? But it's stopping and remembering that it's just one day at a time. And I think everyone, MS or not, needs to only think, it's just one day at a time. Nothing's guaranteed. So just that, I think, has been what's really kind of helped me get out of that worry of the future, where I'm going to be, where my legs are going to be. Remembering it's one day at a time.
I absolutely agree. I went through a terrible depression with my MS, for 2 years. I couldn't go outside. And it was when I read The Power of Now and learned exactly what you just said, that, just look at the present, the moment you're in now, take it for what it is, and don't think too far ahead, because thinking too far ahead can really intensify depression. Depression kicks off, hits your nervous system, then your nervous system goes down. It's like a whole full body experience. So I absolutely agree with that. And I try to tell people that all the time. I know it sounds easier said than done. And, being British, everyone's like, we're very like, just keep calm and carry on. But it's not like that. Just, you have to do that to survive. It's so important. And I'm glad that, for someone that's only being diagnosed a hot minute ago, that you've already kind of figured that out. And that's really amazing.
Yeah, I'm still getting there, I would definitely say. And it's very strange, because I know it's not even been a year, but it also feels like 10 years. And I'm still kind of learning to remember these things, and, living life with these new thought processes. And it's taking time, but as I said, it's going to take one day at a time. And just give myself a bit of a break and not rush myself with my mental health.
Absolutely. And you're so young, you have so much time. So much time. And it doesn't feel like it at that age, but you really do. No.
Yeah, that's honestly just what I keep reminding myself.
Do you know what I mean?
No, completely.
Do you have, although you've given so much good advice, do you have any particular advice points you want to say to someone that, like yourself, has been newly diagnosed?
I would say there's that kind of, for me, it was feeling torn between, you know, the new me and the old me, and constantly trying to, you know, find the old me again. And it was, I would just say, it's finding peace with acknowledging that the old you isn't you anymore, and just trying to be comfortable with you in that moment of time, because if you keep changing the old you, you're going to miss so much. You're going to miss so many new things and new people to speak to, and I think it makes it harder to kind of accept MS, because if you're constantly trying to live as if you don't have MS, you're never going to fully accept it. And I tried to do that. I was in denial for a lot of it. But once you let go of that denial and you make room in yourself for that part of you that is MS, and that's another thing. You're not just MS when you get diagnosed. It's just another part of you. Like, I always think, you know, part of me loves fashion, part of me loves Harry Styles, and part of me has MS. And just trying not to let it completely like engulf you, as hard as it is. That's what I would say, definitely.
Oh, thank you. That is amazing advice. I definitely people speak English. I definitely think people should take that on board, because it's great advice and it's something I wish I knew all the way back then. So thank you. And thank you for being here today, and thank you for letting me interview you. And also thank you for being sick and sickening, because you're definitely going to go. And I definitely hope to get you to come back in the future, because I'm sure that your journey is going to be a magical one, and you are going to like absolutely put me to shame with some of your amazing outfits. So
I could never.
I saw that red suit 2-piece number outfit on your Instagram and I was living for it. So yes, you could absolutely.
Pride and joy, that is. All secondhand, you know, that's, you know, everything I wear secondhand. So I take a lot of love for each item of clothing I've got. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. That's a whole other conversation we need to have. But thank you so much, and I hope to speak to you again soon. Hey warriors, I hope you enjoyed the latest episode of Sickening podcast with Maria today, who's a fashion lover, fellow MS warrior, and all-round beautiful human being. To never miss an episode of Sickening podcast, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And we will see you again soon in 2 weeks for another episode.